Peter came to Jesus and asked, Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother or sister who sins against me? Up to 7 times? He suggested 7 because he felt that was too much. Jesus replied from verse 22. Jesus answered, I tell you, not 7 times, but 77 times. Other versions say 70 times, 7 times. Next verse. Therefore, the kingdom of heaven is like a king who wanted to settle accounts with his servant. We are reading to 35. As he began settlement, a man who owed him 10,000 bags of gold was brought to him. Since he was not able to pay, the master ordered that he and his wife and his children and all that he had be sold to repay the debt. And at this, the servant fell on his knees before him. Be patient with me, he begged, and I will pay back everything. The servant's master took pity on him and did what? Cancelled the debt and let him go. That's why I say if they can't pay, let them go. But be wise. Weigh people before giving them what they ask for. Give them what you think they can pay, not what they need. And give them what, if they don't pay, you won't die. Some of you are so full of compassion that you borrow to borrow people. You will end up in cell. Our brother was saying a man can give only from what he has. Don't go and borrow money to give to somebody because he's in need. He can leave town the day you give him the money. And they will come for you. Who is the guarantor? But when that servant went out, he found one of his fellow servants. See the problem with men. Who owed him 100 silver coins. He was owing 100 bags. He owed him 100 silver coins. He grabbed him and began to choke him to death. You see that those who can't forgive don't know the extent, they don't appreciate the extent to which they were forgiven. So when you find a man who forgives, he forgives because he appreciates the extent to which he has been forgiven. If you find a man who cannot forgive, he doesn't appreciate the finished works of Christ. It's theology to him. If you appreciate the level to which you have been forgiven, forgiveness will be natural to you. And I will show you the basis for forgiveness. He choked him. Pay back what you owe me, he demanded. His fellow servant fell to his knees, did the same thing he did, and begged. Be patient with me, I will pay you back. Imagine, same words. He forgot the very words he used a moment ago. But he refused. Instead, he went off and had the man thrown into prison until he could pay the debt. So some people who observed both situations, we were watching some hours ago when you knelt down. We didn't know you were such a strong fellow. So let's talk about your exploit. We are in some corridors since you are so powerful. So they went. He said when the other servants saw what had happened, they were outraged and told their master everything that had happened. This person you forgave a huge debt now just threw somebody else to prison. Then the master called the servant in. You wicked servant, he said. I cancelled all that debt of yours because you begged me to. Shouldn't you have mercy on your fellow servant just as I had on you? Well, since you know the way of the prison, let's see how it feels to be in prison. In anger, his master handed him over to the jailer to be tortured. This time around, don't just keep him there. While he's there, put some torture on him until he should be able to pay what he owes. So if you expect God to forgive you, God expects you to forgive others. This is why we forgive people, not just sins, even money. And in order not to be tempted to have so much that you may not be able to forgive, when you give with wisdom as you grow in grace. In the name of Jesus Christ.